and welcome to Rosebank Farm and Garden. Today's video is an unboxing of my Proven Winners order. Now there are some pros and cons to ordering online. Some of the pros are you can search for what type of plant you want, whether it's sun, shade, perennial, annual, shrub, etc. Other advantages are you can get a type of plant that you might not ordinarily be able to find at your local nursery, which is really nice to have those beautiful plant specimens in your yard. Some of the cons to ordering online including paying for shipping, and the plants that you buy online are generally smaller in size than you would find at your local nursery. Each of the plants that I ordered was something that I had a specific place in mind for, and I was particularly looking for the sun and shade requirements because of this flower bed right behind me. Oh, that's a good shot. You can see right there the shade, sun, shade pattern that I'm dealing with in this flower bed. So a lot of the plants were ordered specifically to go in this flower bed behind me. One piece of advice that I have for you is to order early, like start in November dreaming about next year's garden and start searching through the plants on the website and making a list of really interesting, beautiful plants that you like to put in your garden, and then place your order early in January so that you're assured that you'll get something, because a lot of times I just placed this order and a lot of things were out of stock or unavailable at that time. I was out of town visiting my daughter and her husband and their new baby that I hadn't seen since February, and my order came from Proven Winners, and so my husband unboxed them for me. So I'd like to run that clip right now of my husband's impression of unboxing.
We're so excited. We got our Proven Winners plants today. Got another catalog. Let's take a look at our first one here, see what it looks like. Let me take these out because these are live plants here. This is a proud berry, pink fall fruit. Beautiful. Look at all the flowers. Oh, he's a different one. Oh, looks like we injured him a little bit. Lemony lace, colorful foliage, beauty much. I think I'm going to tear from the bottom and then lift off. Did it tear down?
Yeah.
Don't hurt the plant. There we go. He's a Dolce Spearmint. Very nice. Oh, this looks like a served gold. Woo! Soft served gold. Very nice. Or Little Henry, fragrant. This must be the big plant. Another catalog. Let's take a peek. Romeo Flashpoint. Looks like onions. Fragrant, reblooming lilac, dark purple. One more plant. Ooh, you got a little squished. You're overflowing. Winecraft Black, smoked bush. And there we go. More plants to plant.
So what I think we'll do for the rest of the video is I'll give you the stats on each plant and then we'll get them in the ground. Plants that I ordered are in the smaller cans, the quart size. And first up is a heuchera called the Dolce Spearmint, and this is a sun to shade plant. It is a small grower, 8 to 10 inches, and hardy in zones 4 through 10. So I'm a zone 6, so this will definitely perform well in my zone. This is my lilac flower bed, and I have Brunnera, a Japanese fern called Godzilla, and then these Carpathian harebells, these 3 right here, which I found out were being attacked by slugs. So, but these are all blue. The Brunnera has early blue blooms in the spring, then the Carpathian takes over with this bluish purple. So I need a spot of pink. And let me get closer. There's a raspberry bush right here. We come into the sun. Something knocked it over, but underneath it is just loaded with berries. But I think I'm going to put the heuchera in this spot back here. And I might, oh, there it goes. See how something bent it right there? And I might take that raspberry bush out after it's done blooming, but it has so many berries, we're going to keep it. All right, so let's plant the heuchera. I always add a little bit of biotone starter whenever I plant any of my perennials. So we're going to add a handful of that. Next up is a Little Henry Sweetspire, and I just love those white blooms on this plant. So the stats are sun or shade, hardy in zones 5 through 9, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, spaced 2 to 4 apart. Here's the lilac, and where we just planted the Dolce Spearmint, and if we go this way, I have a garden, a bed that for the last couple years I've been planting up with green and white, and I think the Sweetspire will go perfect on this end where the path starts. I have a couple annuals in there right now, so I'm just going to move those out of the way real quick, and then we'll plant our Sweetspire right here. I think this is a great location for the Little Henry Sweetspire. It's right beside my garden path. And so as we walk around, as this reaches its full size of 2 to 4 feet tall and wide, we'll be brushing across it and we'll get that nice fragrance as we come off the path. Next plant is the lemony lace elderberry. This will get pretty big even though it's in the small quart can right now, but I just love this delicate foliage and the color. And so let me give you the stats. It's for sun or part shade, hardy in zones 3 through 7. I'm zone 6, so that's good. 3 zones below me. It will get 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, so this will grow quite large. And it blooms in the spring, so that bloom time is over. The spot I've picked out for the lemony lace elderberry is in the lilac flower bed. We just planted the Dolce Spearmint to give some pink to this side, which is primarily blue. I do have a sedge grass right there that has some of the chartreuse, but I think we're going to go back here behind the mini mauvette hydrangea, which is beautiful right now. Look at those blooms. So I think we're going to put it back in this spot. There's the lemony lace elderberry in the ground. I just added some biotone starter and got it planted. Because this was only a quart size, it looks rather small in this space, but I have to leave room for it to mature to that 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. So I'm going to have to resist the urge to pack this space full, knowing that this elderberry will grow and perform. It should like the spot. It is sun to part shade spot, and it should do very well. Woo woo! We are speeding right through this order, getting them all in the ground. So next up is Decadence Dark Chocolate Baptisia for full sun to part shade. All the plants that I chose for this order are sun to part shade because of this crazy light situation in this flower bed. But dark chocolate, look at those blooms. That's going to bring some weight to the space. I forgot to give you the stats for the dark chocolate. Okay, it is a tall plant, 36 to 42 inches tall for zones 4 through 9. Blooms late spring and early summer, sun to part shade, so perfect for what I need. The space I want to plant the dark chocolate baptisia is down here on the bank, so I'm going to go down around to the roadside to plant it. But if you've watched any of my videos, you know my pet peeve is walnut trees. And so I want to take the camera around to that side and show you. Oh no, here's another one. Look, walnut. Look at this. Look at this walnut. Oh my goodness. Walnut. I ran into a root of this big catalpa as I was trying to plant the baptisia. It's not exactly where I wanted it, but it's just a few inches over to the right, so I think it's still going to be okay. I think that's going to look great. So you can see there's the euphorbia. This is the Candy Crush. It doesn't bloom till fall, but it's going to bloom pink. We have some daylilies. We have our Invincible Ruby. Down below the dark chocolate are denim and sage, denim and lace. Yes, denim and lace, Russian sage. And then that baptisia will fill in that space and have those dark chocolate blooms that will add some weight to the space. So really looking forward to how this is going to fill in next year. 4 more plants to go. We're moving over to the sunnier part of my yard on the driveway, which is a totally new space. It's not even, you can't even call it a flower bed yet. And we need to do some measuring. So I called my husband out. He's going to help. And here's a trick. If you don't have measuring tape or yardstick handy, you are as tall as your arms are stretched out from fingertip to fingertip. So we know how tall my husband is. He's almost 6 foot, and we're going to use his arms to measure the placement of our plants. So we had a pine tree cut down on our driveway that was diseased, and we're going to plant this Black Hill spruce to kind of replace it. Now the Black Hill spruce grows 6 to 12 feet tall and wide, so my husband's going to measure off 6 feet from the driveway. Okay, so using my husband's arms as measurement, 6 feet from the edge of the driveway, the center of the Black Hills needs to go underneath his fingertips there. Decided to move the North Hills spruce in line with the blue spruce. We thought that might look better, and we're definitely more than 6 feet away from the driveway. So we need to consider the placement of our next plant, which is Soft Serve Gold False Cypress. This one will get big. Now right now it's, you can see in the quart can, it's rather small, but look at the picture. It's going to get rather large. And here are your stats. Sun or part shade, 6 to 10 feet tall and 5 to 6 feet wide. Okay, so we moved Black Hill spruce, and the soft serve is going to go under his right hand and back. So let's come over here and down. So about right there. Okay, let's see if we like the placement. So at maturity, the Black Hill spruce would technically be touching that, and we still need to go 3 feet away because of that, the false soft serve gold false cypress, because of its diameter. So we have a 9 bark here that gets 3 to 4 feet wide at maturity, and the false serve cypress, so I think we need to move it back, just straight back in line with the stump. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Another somewhat big shrub to get in the ground. This is a Winecraft Black Smoke Bush. Again, it comes in the small quart size, but let's get the stats. I'm really excited about this one. Winecraft Black Smoke Bush prefers a full sun location, hardiness in zones 4 through 8, and the size is 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. So this is going to be another big one. Hard to imagine because of how tiny it is right now, but we need to give it plenty of space when we plant it. This is where I want to put the smoke bush. We are going to take this tree out right here. It was just a volunteer. It's not bearing any fruit. Don't even know what it is. So we're going to take this tree out. And I think this will be a good spot for the Winecraft Black Smoke Bush, because we have a 9 bark here, which is dark color. And then we have the soft serve gold. And then the stump, which will eventually rot or we'll take it out. And then I think the other dark pop of color next to the driveway. So I think that's a good spot. Let's put a baby in there. Baby in there? Yep. Baby in there? I'm actually not sure how healthy of a plant this is. It didn't seem to really have a root system. When I knocked it out of the can, like all the dirt was loose and crumbly, and it came right out and hardly anything. So this one I'm really gonna have to keep my eye on. I added the biotone, which will stimulate root growth, but this one, I don't know. I didn't feel that it was quite as healthy as the other plants with a good root system. The next plant up is Proudberry Coralberry. Just look at that pink fruit that it bears in the fall. It's in our tiny little quart can. And let's give you the stats. Yeah. Proudberry Coralberry is for sun or part shade. It will grow 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, and is hardy for zones 3 through 7. So this plant should do really well in our area. Proudberry Coralberry blooms in the fall, and I think I want it closer to the drive so that it'll give it that bright pop of those pink berries in the fall. And I want to space it between the soft serve and the 9 bark. It will take part shade, but if I put it in between the two, it'll be sure to get that late afternoon sun. And so I think that's a pretty good spot for it right there. Okay, here's a different view. There's the Proudberry Coralberry just planted. And then we have the soft serve gold, and right here's the 9 bark. So I do want to apologize for all the weeds. We call these kind blue devils. I will eventually clear all this out, but I've done so much of the clearing this year, and this is still going to be very, very empty. I mean, look at this. It's still going to be very empty when I get done. So if I get to it this year, I do. If I don't, I'll just be mowing around the plants and maybe clearing it when I have time, but not going to really worry about it. This grassy foliage. Okay, this is the Pyromania Fleischpoint, and here's the tag. It is for full sun, and it's a tall plant at 48 to 54 inches tall. Now, it is zones 5B through 9, and it'll bloom mid-summer with that chartreuse to white bloom. Just love it. Since the Fleischpoint gets rather tall, I'm going to place it here to hide the guide wire. And I think what I'm going to do is order like 3 more for next year and just kind of make a big ring around this guide wire with the Fleischpoint. I think that'll look nice. Nice root system. Look at that. Very nice root system. Just a little bit bound up, so we want to tickle it.
Yeah, it is a baby one.
This is my daughter's butterfly garden. She just started it this year, and it's looking really nice. Look at that. So we're going to put the reblooming lilac in the corner there. So let's get the stats on that plant. The plant is called the Bloomerang Dark Purple, and it is a reblooming lilac. Again, it's in the small can because we ordered it online, but it's going to get to a nice size. So it prefers sun, hardy in zones 3 through 7, and it will grow 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. So it's really going to fill out that corner of her butterfly garden beautifully. Reblooming lilac, the Bloomerang, it was a little bit dry in the can and root bound, so we're going to give it a real good drink of water. But I like the placement. My daughter has room for some more plants here and on the other side, but I think the spacing of her, I think that's a dahlia, the pink dahlia, and the, what were those? Those are those orange ones I gave you, begin with the G. I forget. Okay, those are spaced those are spaced appropriately for how big the lilac will be at maturity. But there is room for some more plants to the left and the right of the Bloomerang. So it's looking good. All the plants are in the ground, and I couldn't be happier with how they are doing, with the exception of the smoke bush. I'm just not sure about that root system, but very happy to get 10 plants in the ground today. From that unboxing. So thank you very much if you stuck with it all the way to the end. I know this was a rather long video, but there were a lot of plants that needed to get in the ground. So I hope you enjoyed learning some more about some different kinds of plants, especially the ones that I picked out for sun to part sun and shade that I really needed for the spot behind me. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to Rosebank Farm and Garden, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.